All right, we're ready. Good evening, everyone. I'd like to call the meeting to order, please. This meeting held in the Roselle Park High School Auditorium is an open session of the Roselle Park Board of Education held under the Open Public Meetings Act of the state of New Jersey. Notice of this meeting was sent to the Star Ledger, the Local Source, the Home News Tribune, the Borough Clerk, school offices, and the district website. Roll call. Mr. Harms?
I'm here. I'm here.
Mr. Mark Fernandez?
Here.
Mix Infante?
Here.
Dr. Kirkland?
Here.
Ms. Quintella?
Here.
We have a quorum. Please stand for the flag salute. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I'd like to call the first resolution, the hand-carried resolution A. May I please have a motion?
Make a motion.
Oh, I'm sorry, the resolution before with the motion. The board appoints Pedro Garrido as board secretary pro tem for the public meeting until a president of the board is appointed. May I have a motion?
Make a motion.
Second.
Mr. Harms,
Yes.
Mr. Fernandez,
Yes.
Mix Infante,
Yes.
Dr. Kirkland,
Yes.
Ms. Quintella. Yeah, at this time, I would like to call the election results. This was a 3-year term. Mr. Paul Biamonte, 1,415 votes, elected. Mrs. Susan N. Colstrom, 1,590 votes, re-elected. Ms. Angelica Angie Ortiz, 1,312 votes, elected. For the 1-year unexpired term, Jennifer McCarr, 1,387 votes, elected. Congratulations to all of you for the election. Congratulations. I would like to, at this time, ask our board attorney, Ms. Jennifer Osborne, to please go up to the front of the dais for the administration of the oath to the new members. Mrs. Costro, Mr. Bayamonte, Ms. Ortiz, if you can please come up.
Want to come just a little closer? So, hold on, I'm gonna, if you want me to hold it, I'm gonna stand here, only so I'm by the microphone here. So you can place your left hand on the Bible and where is your right hand? You're going to repeat after me. I know, this is.
And
Okay.
she's going to be
I state your name,
given the oath by someone else.
Do
who's
solemnly swear
authorized to do it.
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
That I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
and that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same
and that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same
and to the governments established
and to the governments established
in the United
in
States
the United States
and this state
and this state
under the authority of the people,
under the authority of the people.
so help me God.
So help me God.
I state your name,
I, Angela Ortiz,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I possess the qualifications prescribed by law
that I possess the qualifications prescribed by law
for the office of member of a Board of Education,
for the office of member of a Board of Education,
and that I am not disqualified as a voter
and that I am not disqualified as a voter
pursuant to RS 19:4-1,
pursuant to RS 19:4-1,
nor disqualified due to conviction of a crime
nor disqualified due to conviction of a crime
or offense
or offense
listed in
listed in
NJSA 18A:12-1,
NJSA 18A:12-1,
and that I will faithfully,
and that I will faithfully,
impartially,
impartially,
and justly perform
and justly perform
all the duties of that office
all the duties of that office
according to the best of my ability.
according to the best of my ability.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations. You can take your seat. At this time, we'd like to call Jennifer McCarr up to the podium. She has another individual, a notary public, who's going to swear her in.
Good evening, everybody. My sister won the election for Board of Ed for the one-year term. Congratulations, Jennifer. I'm going to be administering the oath for her today. Jennifer, I'm going to ask you to repeat after me. I, please state your name,
I, Jennifer McCarr,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
and that I will bear the true faith and allegiance
and I will bear true faith and allegiance
to the same and to the governments established in the United States
to the same and to the government established by the United States
and this state
and the state
under the authority of the people.
under the authority of the people.
So help me God.
So help me God.
I, please state your name,
I, Jennifer McCarr,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I possess the qualifications prescribed by law
that I possess the qualifications prescribed by law
for the office of member of Board of Education,
for the office of member of Board of Education,
and that I am not disqualified as a voter
and I am not disqualified as a voter
pursuant to RS 19:4-1,
pursuant to RS
19
19:4-1,
4-1, nor disqualified due to conviction of a crime
nor disqualified due to conviction of crime
or offense listed
or offense listed
in NJSA
in NJSA
18A:12-1,
18A:12-1,
and that I will faithfully,
and that I will faithfully,
impartially,
impartially,
and justly perform
and justly perform
all the duties of that office
all the duties of that office
according to the best of my ability.
according to the best of my ability.
So help me God.
So help me God.
At this time, I would like to call a roll for the new board for the record. Mr. Biamonte,
Here.
Mrs. Carlstrom,
Here.
Mr. Fernandez, Mixed Infante. Here. Dr. Kirkland.
Here.
Ms. Makar. Ms. Ortiz. Ms. Quintella. We have a quorum. I'm sorry, Mr. Harms. I'm sorry. I passed you up, Mr. Harms. It wasn't done intentionally. I can guarantee you that.
Trying to tell me something?
I'm so sorry.
Okay.
Avoiding a slip. At this time, I would like to call a motion for a vote for a new president. I'm sorry, motion for, to appoint a president to the Board of Education.
I motion to appoint Lauren Harms as president.
I second that.
Are there any other nominations?
Are there any other nominations?
I nominate Sue Colstrom.
Do I have a second?
Do I have a second?
Second.
So now, we can do. Are there any other nominations? Okay, I think we're going to close the floor for nominations, and now we'll get ready to take the vote. We have two people running for the position of president. So when your name is called, we would ask you to vote by stating the name of the person that you are voting for.
Mr. Piemonte?
Lauren Harms.
Mrs. Colstrom?
I guess myself, Susan Carlstrom.
Mr. Fernandez?
Sue Colstrom.
Mr. Harms? Mix Infante?
Susan Colstrom.
Dr. Kirkland?
Susan Colstrom.
Ms. McCarr?
Lauren Harms.
Ms. Ortiz?
Lauren Harms.
Ms. Quintella?
Lauren Harms.
Okay, Mr. Harms, it's 5 votes. Mrs. Colstrom, 4 votes. Mr. Harms, congratulations. You are the board president. Yep, you're the one now.
Yeah, you take over.
Like to thank everyone for their vote. I look forward to working with all of you this year. We have a lot to do this coming year, so we'll be busy. Thank you. At this time, I would ask for a nominee for vice president.
I nominate Sue Colstrom.
Second.
Second. Somebody said second?
Z Infante.
Thank you. Do I have any other nominations for vice president?
I nominate Constance Quintella.
Do I have a second?
I second.
Do I have any other nominations?
Nominate Brittany Kirkland.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Do I? Okay, thank you. Are there any other nominations? Hearing none, I will close the nominations for vice president. At this time, we have three candidates. I'll call them. Sue Carlstrom, Constance Quintella, and Brittany Kirkland. Again, as we did in the past, just before this, when your name is called, please state the person that you would like. I just want to, still has to have 5 votes.
Yes.
Okay. Just wanted to make sure everybody understands that whoever the person is selected, they would have to have 5 votes to be appointed. So, thank you. Do you want to call the?
Mr. Biamonte,
Carlstrom,
Ms. Carlstrom,
My best friend, Sue Carlstrom.
Mr. Fernandez,
Ms. Kirkland.
Nix Infante,
Susan Carlstrom.
Ms. Kirkland,
Myself, Brittany Kirkland.
Ms. McCarr,
Constance Quintella.
Ms. Ortiz,
Constance Quintella.
Ms. Quintella. I guess myself, Constance Quintella, and President Harms. At this time, there is not a majority for the vote of vice president. So you'll need to, the motion doesn't pass for any individual. We'll need to call it again. So we can call for motions.
We'd have to have another, is it nominations we'd have to have again, or just, okay. Do I hear any nominations for vice president?
I nominate Susan Carlstrom.
Do
I
hear a
second.
second?
Second.
Okay, thank you. Any other nominations?
Brittany Kirkland.
Do I have a second?
Second.
I nominate Constance Quintella.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Do I have any other nominations for vice president? Hearing none, I will close the portion for nominations of vice president. Again, if you, when your name is called, please state the person that you would say yes for.
Mr. Biamonte,
Susan Carlstrom,
Ms. Carlstrom,
Susan Carlstrom.
Mr. Fernandez,
Kirkland.
Nix Infante,
Susan Carlstrom.
Dr. Kirkland,
Myself.
Ms. McCarr,
Constance Quintella.
Ms. Ortiz,
Constance Quintella.
Ms. Quintella. Constance Quintella. President Harms.
Ms. Carlstrom. Okay, we're back to the.
So, okay. If the board is unable to elect by majority vote a vice president this evening, Then it does go to the executive county superintendent for determination, and the executive county superintendent will just pick someone that is a member of the board. We can do any number of rounds. We can also move on with the rest of the meeting and come back to this before the close of the meeting. It's up to you.
I can make a suggestion. Can we go on through the rest of the meeting? And then before we leave, I'd like to have another go around. The only reason why I want to have it done tonight is you don't want the superintendent or the county superintendent making the selection for your board of who's going to be vice president. And it would happen if it was the president also. So I don't think we want to go that far to let that happen. It's not right. They shouldn't have the rights to tell us who we should have in our administration part of it. So if that's agreeable with everybody, can I hear a yes?
Yes.
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 Yes. Yes.
Okay, so we'll move on to the rest of the agenda and then we'll come back to that later. Okay, thank you. At this time, I would like to open the public portion. Each member of the public may speak for a maximum of 3 minutes. When you come to the podium, please state your name and address. And this is on agenda items only.
Katie McDermott, 730 Galloping Hill Road. I would like to comment on agenda item 11, but first I would like to wish everyone a happy new year and congratulations to the newly elected board members, and thanks to you all for your dedication and service to the students of Roselle Park. I'm speaking to you tonight as a co-leader of our district's special education parent advisory group. As some of you may remember from last spring, we requested that a special education committee be established and that a Board of Education liaison be assigned to our group. We would like to once again make that request. As we have mentioned before, it is considered best practices by the New Jersey Department of Education to have both of these things in place. You can look to many districts throughout the state to see examples of the positive impact both a special education committee and a board liaison have made. While we have a wonderful working relationship with Mrs. Cleffy, she is not a publicly elected official. In addition, one does not require a nuanced understanding of the special education process to be a member of a special education committee or to act as a board liaison. You just have to have the desire to see the children with disabilities in the district be fully included and receive the best and most appropriate education and educational supports in order to achieve their full potential. Specifically regarding the board liaison request, while I know our mission may be a little different than that of a PTA or a PTO, it is difficult to understand and upsetting to see a group of parents of students with disabilities being treated differently than other parent groups who have board liaisons assigned. We thank you in advance for your consideration.
Thank you for your comments. Anyone else?
Cindy Mago, 433 Walnut Street. I actually wanted to speak about the exact same thing. I had noticed that even the Dad's Club and the Recreation Department had a liaison. However, I noticed that the CPAG did not have a liaison. I'm not part of the CPAG, but as president of the Aldine PTO, I would be upset if we didn't have a liaison. So I'm not quite sure why they're left out. I mean, even on here, the High School Student Council, which I don't believe is a legal entity, has a liaison. So why wouldn't a legal group have their own liaison? So that's all.
Thank you. Anyone else? Seeing none, I'll close the public portion for agenda items only. Which one am I using, Pedro? We have two, okay, 3-2-20. Correct me if I'm going wrong, because we got two different agendas here, so I apologize. We have two different agendas and I'm not sure. Okay, I see. Okay. It was just broken up a little different. Thank you. At this time, we'll do reorganization. Is agenda items 3-20. Number 3 is appointments. Number 4 is district policies. Number 5 is official district newspaper. Number 6 is appointment of board attorney. Number 7, appointment of auditor. 8, appointment of architect. 9, appointment of engineer. 10, financial investment board operations. 11, board committees. 12, organizational chart. 13, this phase of public agency compliance officer. 14, approval of appointment of custodian public records. 15, appointment of purchasing agent. 16, inter district public school choice. 17, continuing disclosure of agent. 18, annual schedule of meetings. 19, use of facilities. And number 20, district substitutes. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Before we take a call, are there any comments or anything on any one of the items that I've mentioned? Hearing none, roll call, please.
Mr. Biamonte,
Yes.
Ms. Carlstrom,
Yes.
Mr. Fernandez, Mr. President Harms,
Yes.
Nix Infante,
Yes.
Dr. Kirkland,
Yes.
Ms. McCarr,
Abstain.
Ms. Ortiz,
Abstention.
Ms. Quintella.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you. Now we'll move on to personnel, agenda items 21 through 34. 21, staff resignation. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
That was just reorganization.
Okay. Okay. A little confusing when you have two different agendas here. We have to go out to the other one. This one here. This one here. Holy smokes. So I have to go to 20 on this one, right? Okay. Okay, take that one out. Throw that one away. Okay. So at this point, we did use of facilities. We did that, correct, Jennifer? Okay, at this time, I'll open the public participation on agenda items only for number 21 through 51. Anyone wishing to speak, please come forward, state your name and a record. All speakers have a maximum of 3 minutes. This is on agenda items only, 21 through 51. Seeing none, we'll close the public portion on agenda items. At this time, we'll move forward on the agenda items 21 through 34. Okay, I guess we're not going there. Okay, committee reports. Do we have any committee reports? Hearing none. Oh, that's why I wonder. He forgot me. I forgot him too. Now we'll move into the superintendent's report.
And it's a long one.
Oh, my God.
Good evening, everyone. I forgot to wish everyone a happy new year before. Happy new year to all of you. I'd like to congratulate all of the new members of the board. Looking forward to a successful 22 school year and calendar year as well. Congratulations, Mr. Harms, as being the new president of the board. I would like to start by, actually, every year, there's a selection of the Educator of the Year and the Governor's Service Professional of the Year in each of the schools. Last year, we were very fortunate. We, from the local, the school Educator of the Year, we also had the county Educator of the Year. So Mr. Dagunas from the high school science teacher became the county Educator of the Year. So I would like to announce the names of those educators who have worked, as like every other staff member, has worked extremely hard this year, particularly with the COVID and the pandemic situation that we've been facing. The Governor's Educator of the Year for Aldine School is Ms. Grace Lopez, a special education teacher. Sherman School second grade teacher, Ms. Anne Marie Gassion. Robert Gordon, pre-K teacher, Ms. Tara Pisano. Middle school, grade 6 through 8 special education teacher, Ms. Michelle Lynch. High school English, Ms. Allison Robinson. And the Governor's Educator's Service Professional of the Year for Aldine School, Ms. Alyssa Hussey, our school nurse. Sherman School, School Secretary, Ms. Laura Manzo. Robert Gordon, paraprofessional, Ms. Ann Riggy. Middle school paraprofessional, Ms. Megan Gibson. And paraprofessional at the high school, Ms. Michelle Paterno. Congratulations to all. The board recognizes all of them in June when we recognize other members of the staff as well. Okay, my second item is just to update you on the situation with our COVID numbers and where we are today. Back on December 22nd, prior to the winter break, I sent a letter out, as many superintendents throughout the district did, just preparing and planning for a possible change in our school schedule, whether it be remote or whether it be an abbreviated schedule. And the reason for that, the reason for that being that the spike in numbers of COVID cases throughout the state had skyrocketed. At that time, hospitalizations have gone up and so forth. So I wanted everyone to just be prepared that there could be a change when we came back from winter break. Of course, there's traveling. Obviously, people were gathering. There was a chance for higher transmission of the virus. On December 29th, I had a long conference with the local health office, the Westfield Health Office, and our local health officer, Ms. Megan Avalon. At that time, we had a discussion about just about everything regarding the COVID cases here in Roselle Park, as also regionally. We were heading to a red zone at this point. They call it the Cali score, which is through the different regions of the state. And her biggest concern, she said, clearly we can reopen in December because we do maintain distancing. There's a law that for wearing a mask. So we certainly can open. However, the lunch was a cause of concern for Ms. Avalon. That's where children take off the mask to eat. We cannot guarantee 6 feet, which is what the guidelines tell us that we need to have, because we just don't have the space. We don't have the personnel and the staff. So what we do is we have shields like this, which is fine. But because of this new variant, which is way more transmissible, she felt that the barriers at this point, it's not enough, and the transmission in the region was too high. We were at red at the time, as I mentioned. So she felt that for at least 1 week, which is January 7th to January 3rd to the 7th, that we would just cancel lunch, go on a single session or half-day schedule, and that will help us with the transmission, which it has. It really has. And, we're working, well, the staff is working very hard in those 4 hours of instruction. And as a matter of fact, starting tomorrow, the school's also going to have an afternoon or PM of instruction from 2 to 3. So this is going to be more of a tutorial, more support for our students. So that will be Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. So then a letter went out that same day to all parents that we were going to use an abbreviated type of schedule. Again, many districts in the state, as you know, many went remote fully, which I don't consider that to be the best route unless you absolutely forced to do so. Because if anything that we've learned, students learn best when they are in person, and we know that. We learned that. Another thing that, Ms. Avalon mentioned to me, and I'm definitely in agreement with that, and looking at the data, schools continue to be the safest area or environment for students. And the reason for that, it is a controlled environment where masks are worn throughout the day, and there's social distancing that we practice all the time. So again, I know there's some anxiety that are out there, and understandably so, So on December 29th, I wrote a letter to the parents that is where we were moving towards, and that's where we are. The only exception was the high school. Yesterday, I made a decision that we were going to be remote for the rest of the week, for the reason being that operationally, high school is a completely different setting than the other schools. Students are older. There's always the opportunity for misbehaving or what have you, and we really had some key personnel, or a lot of personnel, that had to quarantine from the high school. And for the safety and security of the students, I decided that we were going to be remote at the high school to Friday. But I can tell you right now that Monday, the plan is to be back in person at the high school. I cannot guarantee tomorrow I have another conference call with the Westfield Health Office. I cannot guarantee that we will be back full days Monday, but we will be in person. Unless something comes up that is out of our control here, we are planning to continue to be in person with the instruction. Again, that's where students learn best, and that's where we're heading. Please, just so, just for the parents, everything, and I know there's been some confusion, and rightfully so, when we send message out to the homes and so forth through Elio, but please make sure that you always check the website, because everything that gets sent home is also posted on the website. Please check on the website regularly, so you are aware of everything that's going on in the school. It is posted there. We have a section for COVID-19. We have a section under the superintendent's reports. We have a section under different categories in the entire website. And it's easier to navigate the website that we have now. So please be familiar with it and make sure that that everything that you need to know. And if not, please call the school. The nurses are there. They have been working. I have to really make a mention and really recognize our staff. This is almost 2 years that we've been involved with this. And, so, the one thing that this pandemic has taught us is be prepared or plan for the unknown, because you just don't know what it's going to bring. When we thought we were in the clear, that we were going to, that it was over, here we go. We have to, again, return to some types of abbreviating. Another thing that I want to remind everyone, Mr. Parentis is in the back here, the maintenance, the custodial staff is really stepping up. The cleaning, they've always done the sanitizing and the cleaning, but now more so. If you look at my papers here, they're curled up. That means that they are spraying throughout all the classrooms, all of the offices, everywhere. So anything that spreads during the day, is killed during the night. So they use special sanitizing spray to do that. So again, I can't thank and recognize our staff for the hard work that they're doing and continue to do during these very, very difficult times. And President Harms, that is my report for tonight.
Thank you, Mr. Garrido. Mr. Garrido, I saw this on our email. Does this, because I'm concerned that this is from, what is it? Eldo Engage?
Elio Engage is a communication system that we use to send everything out.
Okay, so what I'm seeing on there is a lot different than what parents might be reading or be told or what we put on the website. Because it states in there that you have to have booster shot also. I'm not sure. I've heard that we had to have our children have booster shots also before they can come back into school. So
No, that's,
I'm
yeah,
concerned about what they might be reading, and what we're telling them. And you mentioned before about confusion.
mhm.
I'm confused.
This is on the website as well, Mr. Harms. This is the latest from the New Jersey. There was a lot. I just want to let you know, right before New Year's, there was a lot of confusion between the CDC guidance and the NJDOH. We only, and I have to be completely honest with you, the DOH and the DOE has been very late in sending out information to the district, and I think that has led to a lot of confusion in all districts, to be honest with you. This is the latest guidance that's on, and everything this should be followed. This came right from the Department of Health. This right here, it is posted on the website. It went out on January 1, New Year's Day. This is the latest, and we're still waiting for some guidance. So things can change from today to tomorrow or today, and I know it may be confusing. It may be, but this, Mr. Harm, thank you for it, because this is exactly what is supposed to be followed at this point. The DOH has told us to hold off on following the guidance from the CDC. Okay, right now, it does not apply to the schools, and that's the reason for this. It's still the 10 days and so forth. It can change. It can change tomorrow. It can change the next day. And obviously, our nurses will send that information out as we did, and we posted it. But this is what's the latest that we have received, guidance that we have received from the Department of Health. It's on the website, and it was sent via Elio. Please make sure you become familiar. But if you have any questions, please call the school nurse. You know, they're available, all day long. If they're not, they will get back to you. But please call the school nurse. They would certainly give you the right information. Okay, so please do. Thank you, Mr. Horns, for pointing this out.
Here again, Mr. Garrido. Right now, we'll move on to personnel agenda items 21 through 34. 21, staff resignation. 22, rescinding of staff appointment. 23, staff appointment. 24, additional elementary proctors, 2021, 2022. Additional school proctors for the 2021, 2022. 26, additional middle school extracurricular advisors, 2021 to 2022. 27, district substitutes. 28, 2022 Roselle Park Summer Camp salaries. 29, change of assignment and transfers. 30, the revision of leave of absence. 31, additional compensation. 32, additional athletic coaches, 2021 to 2022. 33, maternity leave of absent request, and 34, additional duty periods for 2021, 2022. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
And
Again, is there any comments or any discussion on any of the items that I have mentioned? If not, I'll ask for a roll call.
Mr. Biamonte,
Yes.
Ms. Carlstrom,
Yes.
Mr. Fernandez,
Yes.
Nix Infante,
Yes.
Dr. Kirkland,
Yes.
Ms. McCarr,
Abstain.
Ms. Ortiz,
Extension.
Ms. Quintella,
Yes.
President Harms.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you. We'll move on to education, agenda items 35 through 40. 35, conference attendance request. 36, harassment, intimidation, bullying incidents. 37, 2022 Roselle Park Summer Camp. 38, ARP PBL program. 39, literacy intervention support programs. And 40, education programs. Do I have a motion?
Ben,
Second.
Okay, I have a motion and a second. Any discussion or any comments on the mentions, the items I mentioned? Hearing none, roll call, please.
Mr. Biamonte,
Yes.
Ms. Carlstrom,
Yes.
Mr. Fernandez,
Yes.
Nix Infante,
Yes.
Dr. Kirkland,
Yes.
Ms. McCarr,
Abstain.
Ms. Ortiz,
Abstention.
Ms. Quintella,
Yes.
President Harms.
Yes,
Motion carries.
thank you. Now we'll move on to business and then agenda items 41 through 51. 41, monthly certifications. 42, approval of bills. 43, approval of minutes. 44, budget transfers. 45, educational trip requests. 46, professional services contract. 47, use of buildings and grounds. 48, donation acceptance. 49, secretary treasurer's reports. And 50, bus evacuation drills. And 51, district contracts. I have a motion.
I'll make a motion.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, roll call, please.
Mr. Biamonte,
Yes.
Ms. Carlstrom,
Yes.
Mr. Fernandez.
Yes, and I abstain from 47A.
I'm sorry, you abstained from what number?
47A.
47A. Nix Infante,
Yes.
Ms. Kirkland,
Yes.
Dr. Kirkland, I apologize. Ms. McCarr,
Abstain.
Ms. Ortiz,
Abstain.
Ms. Quintella,
Yes.
President Harms.
Yes,
Motion carries.
thank you. At this time, is there any continuing business? Hearing none, is there any big new business? I don't know if it's new business or not, but I want to personally thank Mr. Chad Hemingway for the number of years he was on the Board of Education, gave the ultimate for our children. He's going to be sorely missed. Mr. Hemingway, I personally thank you and hope you run again. Thank you. Okay, at this time, I will open up the public portion. Anyone wishing to comment on anything, please come forward, state your name and address, and you have 3 minutes to express that feeling.
Jen Distula, 145 West Grant. First, just want to congratulate everybody. I'm glad to see some new faces, some old faces, and hopefully we can all move forward. Just a question regarding the vice president's vote. I understand the majority, and based on the bylaws, it kind of says the majority of the board. But when we have 3 running, it's almost kind of impossible. Just hang on, wait till I finish my whole question today. So Robert's rules kind of gives us the impression, and we closed the nominations. So to open them again, to have the same nominations come up, doesn't seem kind of the way Robert's rules sets up for us to do it, so that we typically would just continue to vote until we declared a winner. And if we're going to vote again, we're going to have to make a motion to reopen the vote. Am I correct, Ms. Osborne?
I'm not sure that I understand your
Mhm.
question.
Okay.
With respect to the board, I understand your point with respect to Robert rules. However,
Right.
the policy in this district is a majority vote. So that's what the district, that's what the board is following. With respect to opening up the vote again, the board has the ability to vote as many times as it needs to or wants to in order to elect a vice president tonight. So each time it does that, we call for nominations with a first and a second.
Okay, I hear what you're saying, but what I'm saying though is when Robert's rules, when you close the nominations, and
Mhm.
typically, just, I'm going to say it from our end of it on
Mhm.
the boards that I sit on, when we have closed the nominations and there's a tie or something happens, we continue to vote until we determine a winner. Be that one person gets up and leaves and it changes it, but it determines at the 5. We don't reopen up nominations to the floor hoping that they might change. Or
Oh, I
that they
see
might-
what you're saying.
So
Mhm.
we have 3 nominations. Those should be the 3 nominations, just based on the way I understand Robert's rules. And going forward that way. And your bylaws do absolutely state majority of the board, which would mean 5 members, with the exception of statute. If you read the next part of the bylaws in the policy, except as provided by code or statute.
Right, but because this is a policy with respect to voting method in
Right.
general. So what that means is if there is a code or a statute that says otherwise with respect to majority, so that would be with respect to any matter that comes before the board. There is no code or statute with respect to the required number of votes for a president or a vice president of a board of education.
That's what I was trying to
Right.
determine. Like, so
Yeah.
to me, majority means majority of the vote, be it that it's split right now, 2, 3, 4,
Mhm.
majority is 4. You're
No,
saying, yeah, I know, I understand. It's saying here that based on that, that's what my question was, that it has to be 5 members vote.
that is correct. It has to be
For
5.
this too.
That is correct. It's a
Okay.
majority of those present and voting. Yes.
That's
Mhm.
what I was trying to,
Yes.
just so that we all understood, because, majority is.
In order to elect a vice president tonight, there
Mhm.
must be at least 5 votes for one
For one
person.
Based on, though, right now, the 3 nominations that are up there.
Correct.
They can't go back and change those nominations now. We're now voting going
Some-
forward on those 3.
We are voting on those 3. One of those 3 people could decide at some point
Right.
this evening that they'd like to step out of that sort of role, not accept any sort of votes. Mhm.
Is there the option for the board members to vote by ballot?
No, I would technically, while we could put pieces of paper
Mhm.
out and people can vote by that, we would still have to read them
Right.
into the record. Yes.
Which is completely fair, but no one would know who voted for who.
No, you have to say
Oh, no,
the
you'll know
person.
who voted for who
Yes,
tonight. I would
right.
have
Oh,
to
no,
read.
I know, but I'm just,
You mean
giving
as
an
it's
option.
actively happening?
as it's actively happening,
Yes, that is an option.
and just because it might be more effective, or they could come to a conclusion that if we gave the board the option to vote by ballot versus by name. Just putting it out there.
The board could make the decision to do that. Yes.
Okay, that was
Mhm.
it. And looking forward to a great year this year. All right, thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you for the comments. And just so everybody knows, I let it go more than 3 minutes because it was a very good discussion, and we're learning. So we don't know everything, at least I don't. So we learn each time we come up here and we sit here. So I thank you. Anyone else? Seeing none, I will close the public portion. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, at this point, we do not have anything to go into executive session. That one, I'm gonna, oh yeah, that's what I'm saying. So the last thing on the agenda is to get ourselves a vice president. So again, as the discussion just went, so we have 3 nominations. Ms. Carlstrom, Ms. Kirkland, and Ms. Quintella. Okay, I was going by the first name down there because you're right down there. I'm sorry. So again, we'll do the same thing when your name's called. The only thing I guess what I'm asking now is what was brought up about a ballot. How would that work? Because ladies and gentlemen, I really don't want it to go to the superintendent of the Union County Superintendent. So please just keep that in mind. So how would this ballot work?
So if the board by sort of majority wanted to vote via a ballot, I would have you write on a piece of paper your name as the voting party so that I know that one is coming from each, as well as the name of the person that you're voting for.
Okay,
I will walk down the line so that I can ensure that one is coming from each board member and that somebody's name is on that. And then I would read those votes into the record so that everyone sitting here tonight will still know exactly how every person is voting, and that every board member is voting. But I guess this suggestion is being made as a way of not being swayed by somebody who has sort of voted before you. That would be in my mind,
So
the
you still-
rationale
but-
behind doing that.
right, but you're still gonna have the board member's name
Yes,
and also the person
correct.
they voted for.
Right.
And then that would go into record. Would
Yes.
that be told to the public tonight?
Yes, it will be
Okay,
told to
so-
the public tonight. Yes.
Okay,
And
so
just
you're still having it whether I go,
yes,
you know,
The public
nominee
is-
A or B, you're still gonna know it's me and who I'm voting for.
correct. It would just be that in the
Okay,
active process of the vote, you wouldn't know how the person was voting who was sitting next to you.
okay.
And just for confusion purposes, what I would ask is that if the board is going to elect to do this, that you write your name on the page. So I would write Jennifer Osborne. And then if I was voting for Pedro Garrido, I would write Pedro Garrido and I would circle the person's name that I'm voting for so that there is absolutely no confusion.
Okay, all right. So let me bring this to the board, and Jennifer, help me out with this. What I'd like to do is take a roll call vote on the first time around.
Okay,
If that doesn't work, then I would ask the board to do this ballot. And let's see how that works. But I think we're gonna be here tonight, and we're gonna elect somebody as the vice president. Okay, so how does that sound to the board? Does it sound all right? Yeah, okay, so let's go to first round. And we know the names. So when your name is called, please state the person that you are voting for.
okay. Mr. Biamonte,
Susan Carlstrom.
Miss Carlstrom,
Susan Carlstrom,
Mr. Fernandez,
Sue Carlstrom.
Nixon Fonte,
Susan Carlstrom.
Dr. Kirkland,
Brittany Kirkland.
Miss McCarr,
Constance Quintella,
Miss Ortiz,
Ms. Carlstrom,
Miss Quintella,
Constance Quintella.
President Harms.
Miss Sue Carlstrom.
Okay, by my count, I have 6 votes for Susan Carlstrom as vice president, which is a majority of the board. Motion passes for Miss Carlstrom.
Thank you, board members. At this time, if we don't have any other subject to bring up, I would ask for a motion to adjourn. Our next meeting is the 27th,
25, 25th,
25th, the 20,
here.
yes, here, 25th, 7 o'clock, 6 o'clock probably. But anyhow, 7 o'clock will be our starting time for everybody else. We'll start at 6 and go in executive. So the 25th, 7 o'clock.
I'll make that motion.
You have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? I like to stay here. Everybody drive safe, stay warm, and have a good night.